Not a hard job. Remove the wear sensor. Just put the rotor on where the bolt's gonna go. Watch that orientation. With the emergency brake handle, it is time to put everything back. Hello, my Rover friends, and welcome back to the Lucky8 channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to do a brake job on a Land Rover LR4. We're gonna do pads and rotors in the front and pads and rotors in the rear. Cue the intro. The first thing I like to do is get this little bolt out that secures the rotor to the hub. It is a T50, and this one looks pretty beat up. Let's see if we can get it out. If not, oh, this is coming out nice. If not, you can gently drill into it, and then the head will pop off and free up the rotor. But I got lucky, it came out. And another trick, if it's really tight, you can get a breaker bar in there like so and pry against the rotor as you're trying to take it out. But we got lucky here. After that, we're going to move on to taking the caliper apart. First thing to do is remove the wear sensor. Just gently wiggle them. A lot of times they break, so when you order a kit from us, I recommend getting the one with the sensor. Let's see if I can get this one out. Hey, success. All right, it didn't break it. Okay, now that the sensor's out of the way, that is a 13 mil right here. And there's a little head in here that you gotta grab. It's a 17 mil. This is a special little socket that I have, but you may need to grind down a 17 mil to fit in, or you can kind of hokey pokey it, get a screwdriver or something in there and wedge it if you don't have the right tools. But as always, the right tools make the job a lot easier. That's loosened up. Let's loosen the bottom. I'm not taking it fully out yet. All right, both have come loose. Now we're gonna get a pry bar or a big screwdriver in here and try to compress the piston, which will make it easier when we go to put the pads on. What I do is get a little straight blade screwdriver, kind of wiggle in and start gently crushing the caliper pistons against the rotor. So it's gonna get loose on this side right here. I'll bring the camera in so you can see what I'm doing. It's an old trick I learned, and it makes it so much easier. Otherwise, you pull the caliper off and then you need a clamp to crush them both down. Have a look. With the caliper loose, we're now going to get our hanger, use some wires, zip ties, whatever. You just don't want the caliper to fall and yank on the rubber hose. I'm gonna take the two bolts out that hold it into the 13, set those aside. Then I'm going to support the caliper. I usually take a look inside and make sure there's nothing weird in there. Perfect. Now that's nice and safe. Looks like we need to compress those a little bit more, no big deal. And then get our pads out of the way. Got a fair bit of use out of those. Next up, it is a, I want to say 21 millimeter 12 point on the back to get the caliper hanger or bracket off. And they are on there. Whew. I'll bring the camera in so you can see both of them. Once those are off, we can get the bracket out of the way, and the rotor is just going to fall right off. There's the lower one, and then the upper one is right here. I'm gonna get an extension so I don't damage that hose. The next part's pretty easy. Just put the rotor on where the bolt's gonna go. Watch that orientation. Put the bolt in, put the hanger on, put the new pads in, put the caliper on. You get the picture, easy stuff. all done in the front. Let's move to the back. Okay, the back is essentially the same as the front. We're gonna get out the T50 Torx, 13 mil bolt heads on the caliper. We're gonna squish the piston in. On the other side has the wear sensor. We're gonna take that out. We're gonna hang the caliper. The bracket is a 15 mil. Let me double check. Yeah, 15 mil, ooh, you shush. 15 mil 12-point socket to get the caliper bracket off. And then the rotor is gonna come off. Depending on how well your emergency brake setup is, these will come right off easy or they won't. So I'm gonna strip this down real quick and then we're gonna talk about the emergency brake inside the rear rotor. Inside the rotor right here is a set of emergency brake pads. You grab the electric switch, the motor moves, and it turns on the emergency brake. To free it up, you just get some of the dust and whatever is built up, the rotor should slide off. This is what's called best case scenario. In the real world, it hardly ever works like that. But I can tell from the new pads and this rotor looking mighty new, the job was recently done. If that doesn't work for you, I'll show you how to get it out. If your rotor is stuck on, you'll have that screw removed. And over here, there's usually a rubber grommet. You can get a little screwdriver in here and adjust the emergency brake. I'll show you where that is. Down here on the bottom is a little wheel. Down here is the little wheel. It's got some teeth on it. You stick your screwdriver through and you just tap it and the wheel will spin. One way will open it up, make the brakes get tighter to the drum, and then the other way will loosen it, and it just depends on what side of the vehicle you're on. Tap that a couple times. That'll free up the brake pads that are right here, and then you'll be able to slide the rotor off. With the emergency brake handled, it is time to put everything back together. Just align the rotor screw hole. We'll tighten that down. I'm gonna put everything back together in hyperspeed. My friends, not a hard job. The only tough part would be the rear emergency brake, but I walked you through how to do that. And I'm gonna say it, this job is complete. Be sure to follow for more Rover content.